This film has been classified 18, which means it's for adults only. It may also contain some very explicit language, which will frequently mean sexual swear words. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the film.
Hello and welcome to VHS Showdown. I'm Murph.
I'm Tarby.
I'm Alan.
And I am Lee.
Yes, and we're here to review those classics. So each week a random year is picked. This week it was Tarby's turn. And what year did you pick, Tarby?
For the second time, Tone, 1984.
Wow.
1984. What are the odds?
It's not a badger.
Let us know in the comments.
What are the odds? We are not gambling men.
I had a personal reason for picking this one. I couldn't believe Lee hadn't seen this film all of his life, and I don't get a chance to bully him into watching a film. But with this podcast, he's kind of got no choice, so I was really keen just to get his reaction on it.
Yes,
so yeah, I went for The Karate Kid.
Oh my god, did you know?
Yeah, if you hadn't already guessed it. Yeah.
I mean, the name's going to be in the thumbnail for this video.
Oh, okay, I'm just trying to do things by the book.
Okay.
What was your first experience of this film? Did you see it as a kid, did you?
As a kid, did you?
I couldn't have watched it when it came out. I must have been 6, probably, when I first saw this. I used to have a mate who lived up the road from me. We just literally watched it, and then we just ran up to this park, and we just spent the whole day each other. Crane kicking each other.
Oh, right, okay. Well, actually kicking each other.
Well, trying the now monumental move.
How about everybody else? Obviously, Lee, we know you've never seen it.
No.
And Al?
I think it was hard to avoid it in the 80s, wasn't it? I think. It spawned masses of karate dojos everywhere.
Yeah.
And I did karate.
You
on
look
the
like a
back.
karate champ.
Well, I'm quite the karate master.
Are you?
Yes. Kiai! Kiai!
Are you alright? So you had a stroke.
Yeah.
So you watched it in the 80s then and went on to learn karate?
I did become quite the karate-tician.
Was it a janitor somewhere that took you over there?
You got some medals, didn't you?
I did get
when
medal.
you practiced your karate.
That was actually for ninjutsu, because I ascended to American Ninja, where I would train in a garage with a chap at a very tender age I was. I can't remember his name. If you're out there, thank you. You've taught me so much.
Yeah, this wasn't an official dojo, was it?
No, it was a garage at the bottom of our street.
So, you know, I mean, there are like potentially sinister overtones here, but it's no different from the story of Karate Kid itself, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't think Mr. Miyagi was a nonce.
Just to clarify, he was not a nonce.
She said she was 12.
And I did not get touched.
Even if it was a ninja.
He was too quick.
I
wouldn't have felt it.
You want a ninja nonce either.
But I tell you one thing, he did tell me how to walk silently.
Did he?
Oh yeah, on the sides of my feet.
This man knows how to walk quietly like
He's creeping past your parents' bedroom.
If you ever need a sneaker, I am the man to sneak.
Anyway, very much like Al, I saw it in the 80s and wanted to do karate and went into karate lessons. I used to do it up the road from your house, actually. In the garage. His garage. Don't see him much anymore.
Okay, so yeah, we got Ralph Macchio. How old was he?
22.
22.
Yeah, the eternally boyish Ralph Macchio. Noriyuki Pat Morita.
Because you know it says at the beginning, it says his name in Pat's in bracket.
It always is, yeah.
That's because the studio wanted to really push his Japanese sort of...
He wanted to.
So they put that at the start of his name.
Cool. Well, he's a comedian, did you know?
Yeah, that's not his accent at all.
No.
This is America, man. Japanese can do pretty much anything they want to do. Born and raised here, this and that.
Are you guys aware of some of the other people that auditioned to be the Karate Kid?
Yes, there's loads of mad people.
There's Jim Carrey, tried to be the Karate Kid. Robert Downey Jr., Michael J. Fox, which is mad because for some reason, in my head, I think this was after that, but it's not. It was obviously before Back to the Future. Who's the head of the Cobra Kai dojo?
John Kreese, played by Martin Cove.
He was originally going to be Chuck Norris.
So we open on a typical New Jersey street where we find Daniel LaRusso, played by Ralph Macchio, and his mum loading up their car, and they are getting the hell out of town.
This was the shittest bit of the whole film, I thought. This bit had aged the most. The whole intro, I thought, was really, really bad. We don't really see them. It's filmed from miles away, and like the music, it like cut in between 3 different sort of musical scores.
The guy who's doing
the original score
is Bill Conti. He did not the Rocky tune, but Flying High, I think it was.
Oh, right. Did it?
And you can tell when you listen to this, I was like, of course.
Well, there's many parallels with Rocky, isn't it?
It's the same director.
Yeah, I thought this beginning bit just had aged.
I don't know how you could have done much more about that. The scenery was the scenery, the cars were the cars, and it was really an incidental part of the film. What you needed to know was Daniel and his mum leaving Newark, and it just kind of got it done quick.
They were real kids on the film set who were annoying between the directors and actors. The kids who were like waving to their car as they were going, like, "Bye, Daniel." These kids were like fucking around with the production, and the director was like, "If you want a part, you can have a part, but stop messing up our film."
Interesting. So yeah, they get in their shit heap car and they have to bump start it, which I think is quite a nice little setup for later on. And that's it, they leave. They pull up to some very average looking apartment block. They've moved to California. They start moving their stuff into the building, and the Karate Kid, he's pushing his bike and he decides to side kick the gate, kicks it straight into the face of his new neighbour, Freddy Fernandez, who I thought his name was Freddy Bananas, because when I was a kid, I didn't understand the concept of a foreign name, so I couldn't understand what he was saying. I didn't know the word Fernandez, so in my head when I was very young, I just went to the first word that sounded like it, and until I was probably 15, 16, I thought he was Freddy Bananas, and then it was only when I watched it literally last night that I knew it was Freddy Fernandez.
It sounds some sort of 30s gangster. Freddy Bananas!
Sounds like a cartoon monkey.
Freddy Bananas.
He's quick at making friends as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's got that New Jersey child.
Well, yeah, he's a cheeky chappy.
Yeah, he's got the talk like.
I feel like Freddie is probably not one of the jocks at school, and he didn't get to see that kick. He just felt the gate hit him, and he might think that Daniel's a bit of a tough nut, so he might be a good guy to get in with.
Oh,
so
he definitely gave it a boot.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
Ralph Macchio's like really good in this. I think his performance is great and he plays the part really well. But if you met him, you'd be like, "Oh, fuck off!" He's just so full on. I was like, "Hey, what you doing?
That's what it's like being with you.
No, I don't talk that.
You want a cannoli?
It's alright to watch it, but I think in reality, after a while, you'd be like, "Oh, shut up, man."
He goes into his apartment to fill up a water bowl to give some water to the dog, and then the tap sprays all in his face, and his mum tells him there's a fix-it guy on the site in the complex where they live, so he's got to set off and go and try and find this guy. But he walks in on Mr. Miyagi.
This guy's back to the camera and he does that slow turn.
He's got his bandana on as well.
He has. You get your first glimpse of the now iconic headband.
He's 52.
He's trying to catch this fly with chopsticks.
He was on a bit of fishing wire.
I was wondering how he did it.
Yeah, it wasn't a trained fly.
When are you going to fix the faucet?
After.
After what?
After.
I thought both of them were really fucking good. Like, I didn't realise how good they were.
I haven't watched it probably 30 odd years. I haven't seen it, and I was expecting it to be way more cheesy and more 80s, and it's not. It's like quite realistically played, isn't it? It's not played as an 80s sort of popcorn thing.
So Freddie, wanting to get in with him, says, "Oh, we're having a beach party tomorrow. Do you want to come down?" So he goes to this beach party.
Play some soccer.
He kicks the ball. There's a group of girls sat on the beach. The ball gets knocked towards them, and he finds himself in front of Elizabeth Shue.
She's fucking lovely.
She's my celebrity crush from childhood, from that and Cocktail.
No, she cocktail as shit.
I only realised that she was in Back to the Future 2 and 3 as well.
She's nicer in there.
Who's she in 2 and 3?
She's the girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
Oh,
Yeah,
fucking
they
shit.
recast her after the first one, didn't they?
She's the girlfriend in 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Right, okay. He practices the age-old art of 80s attraction there, doesn't he? Where he just stands and stares. And mad dogging her from over the other side. And she like stares back and then it's like, "Oh, you know it's on then."
Thankfully, they spare us the full-on assault or groping. It's just a friendly, loving stare out in this one. Good tune with that.
Good tunes all the way through, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Who's that blonde blue?
Hell.
Hills, what's the hills? It's rich.
This is something I quite liked about the film, is that you get this kind of immediate thought that there's going to be like a real class war, a real Romeo and Juliet thing. But it never really transpires. It kind of, you get a little bit from the parents, a bit of snootiness, but it never really plays a massive part. You know, because you think, "Oh, fucking hell, don't be like a tragic love story."
She didn't see money, Tom.
She did not, Alan.
She just saw his lovely brown doughy eyes.
So day turns to night and they're now having an evening beach party.
Cooking some wieners.
It's a wiener party. Freddie Bananas kind of spots that Elizabeth Shue's looking at the Karate Kid and he's like, "Hey man, the blonde's looking at you," and he's like, "Oh no, she's not interested." So they kick the ball over and then he has to go over and she brings it halfway and they get into a little chat. He can do keep-ups on his knees with the ball and she has a little go, so it's a bit of heavy flirtatious football.
And her ex rolls up.
Slithering karate club.
Slithering.
They're right, whoever cast this got a real good bunch of 80s twats.
Yeah.
All their faces.
Is Dutch the one with the piggy nose?
Dutch is the one who looks like 35.
Yeah, he does that like
beach blonde hair.
evil 80s laugh, like, and
He was 24.
He's Steve McQueen's son, and he was a twat on set, apparently.
Was he?
Yeah, there's a few things he did where he's a bit of a dick. There's the one who's got the real, like, and he's the one who's like, "Yeah, boss." He's got a fucking horrible face. Do you know
Bobby, I think you're all about.
Do you know what I mean?
Is that the one at the end that shouts, "Get him a body"?
Yeah.
Get him a body bag! Yeah!
He he ad-libbed that.
When it cuts to him, he's like, there's like a fucking shaved rat.
One of the biggest 80s twat faces I've ever seen. Man, if you were in the 80s and you had a bandana and you rode a fucking scrambler around, you were a fucking bad boy.
Johnny, the leader of Cobra Kai, he's got a fucking weird haircut. It's like Donald Trump. It's like it's 1D.
Let's be fair, he's a fucking dickhead, isn't he, this bloke?
He looks like fucking Draco Malfoy's older brother.
Yeah, he
plays the part well.
He does play it really well.
Again, the soundtrack, The Ride by Matches, is the tune that they arrive to. Which again just suits the mood perfectly, really.
A lot of Lost Boy vibes going.
Yeah,
definitely. But that's what, bad boys in the 80s did, didn't it? It was ride motorbikes around.
Yeah.
They were trouble.
So many great things are made, like these days, set in the 80s. And you're really glad to hear the tunes they put in, but you've got to remember, we're talking like 40 years ago, they've got 4 decades of experience to know what tunes were popular, what became what. Everything in this soundtrack was made for it, or at the time.
Well, no, actually.
Oh?
Yeah, the best around was actually written for Rocky.
That was Bill Conti.
A reject from Rocky.
Yeah, they went,
okay,
so they went with Rocky 3 and they went with Eye of the Tiger and
I
stuff.
think it would have fitted either, wouldn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, well, very similar film.
What I mean is the
they are,
soundtrack for the tunes they've used at the time, there was no, this was really popular, let's put this in an 80s film.
This is what made him popular, isn't it?
This is an 80s film that just put tunes in that they thought would make the moment better.
Yeah, you're going to put things in that were big, aren't you? Like Stranger Things using, like, Running Up That Hill or whatever. You're not going to put in a real obscure tune, are you?
No, but what I'm saying is at the time, these
you
were
wouldn't have
obscure
known.
tunes.
Yeah.
These were kind of like, fuck it, let's put Banana Armour in there, this British girl group.
That's what Freddie
good.
Bananas would be saying, wouldn't he? It's a banana armour in this. Shut the fuck up, Freddie. Fucking bananas all the fucking time.
So yeah, Johnny and the Cobra Kais descend onto the beach. We find out here that Johnny and Ali, who's Elizabeth Shue, used to date.
Up until 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know. They could have been a bit less intimidating, but Johnny just really does want to talk, and he's like, "Can you turn the radio off?" And Ali's being a bit of a knob about it and keeps putting it back on.
He's being a knob.
Like I said, he could be a lot less intimidating, but I mean, at the beginning, he is saying, "Can I just talk to you without the radio on?" She keeps pressing play, and he wrestles it off her. And
he launches it across the beach.
He smashes it.
Smashes it.
They'll run over it.
Yeah.
First of all,
you're not trying to be intimidating. You just drove a load of fucking scramblers around everyone and everything.
Had she have just said, "All right, let's chat a minute," then and took him aside and tell him to fuck off.
She didn't have to. She had told him previously. He's like, "I don't want none of your shit, Johnny."
That's
but
fair.
Johnny was.
That's probably why she finished with him.
Yeah,
he's being.
He's doing this sort of shit all the time, isn't he? He's fucking going.
She's had enough of his scrambler on the beach shit.
So anyway, he launches the radio and smashes it up.
She made him do it.
It's your fucking fault. I feel like I'm in a Facebook thread comments.
We're cancelling you, Tom.
I'm just going to delete my comment and not be here. Anyway, Daniel LaRusso thinks, "Oh, fucking, I'm going to be a hero here." So he picks up the stereo and he goes to give it back, but that pisses off Johnny and his amazing hair.
He did a fantastic leg sweep, the classic 80s leg sweep, which is in most martial art films.
He puts Ralph Macchio on his ass, doesn't he?
He
Ralph
does.
is not happy.
He puts him on his ass more than once, but the next time he hits him in the gut, he kicks him in the stomach, he ends up down on the floor.
Just leave me alone! Just leave me alone!
But his friends ditch him as well. Who's this guy?
They turn around and he's on the floor with his head kicked in, and the first thing they say is, "Nice new friends, man." And then they walk off, and then Freddie Bananas is like, and walks off as well.
Well, we're being sympathetic then. Imagine that these guys are the guys who got picked on at school and they thought he was their saviour and he's just got his ass kicked and now it's like, well, that's it, he's fucked, he's not going to save us, is he?
Well, they're going to look like right chumps.
Do you think Freddie Bananas has been beaten up by the Cobra Kai bad guys before?
Probably. He must know who they are because they're rebels.
Yeah, they are. I think they were just like, siding with the bullies because they didn't want to get beaten up by the bullies, maybe, as well.
Well, the bullies had fucked off, hadn't they? They drove off.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
They were so comically bullies as well, weren't they? They were so the classic 80s twat. They were, weren't they?
Yeah. They all kind of looked like little average parents, do you know what I mean? And they had loads of money. Because, he did have a sports car and scramblers, that was the whole thing, wasn't it, I suppose?
They were from the hills.
Yes.
Basically, they're spoiled kids.
Yeah.
So anyway, Daniel wakes up the next morning and you just see him wearing a pair of big aviator glasses and his mum's there making breakfast and he's basically just trying to dodge out wearing his sunglasses. His mum's like, "What the fuck is up with your eye?"
He's like, "Hey, your mum, I gotta go. I can't stick around here, mum. I gotta get on let me snap my eyes. It's fine, mum.
I'm glad you could remember all that.
There's a scene with Minute Maid, isn't there?
Yes.
Which is something to do with the studio being owned by Coca-Cola.
Yeah, so Coca-Cola owned Columbia, and there was loads of bits within it. You had to get Coca-Cola products into it, and Ralph Macchio hated that. And so there's a bit where he's drinking a Sprite. He's trying to, purposely cover the logo, and they had to keep refilming it, so he only shows it for a little bit. But interestingly, Clint Eastwood's son, fucking Kyle Eastwood, auditioned to be the Karate Kid and didn't get it. So Clint Eastwood was like, "I'm fucking banning Coca-Cola from all of my film sets." So then nobody could, bring a Coke onto a Clint Eastwood film set after that?
What a fucking princess.
I mean, you wouldn't tell Clint Eastwood
I
that.
could probably take him. He's like 94.
I mean,
You take it now.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you could.
I bet he's fucking pretty tasty still.
What, 94?
I mean,
Well, I bet he's got knowledge about how to fight.
he's a specimen of a dude, like, isn't he?
I mean,
I look forward to him telling me about him running round him.
But I reckon he's got the technique.
Yeah, definitely. Clint Eastwood, if you're out there, one-on-one with Tar.
Because he reckons he's harder than you.
I did find the timeline a little bit strange, actually. But,
Yeah,
on some parts.
he learns to be a karate master in like 30 days, doesn't he?
He's 60, I think.
Yeah, so he had 2 months from when he started.
It's Halloween till Christmas. Because there was some tinsel I saw, which has surprised me because I thought this might end up as
Did you think
a Christmas film for next year.
You were watching Vice Versa?
I did probably feel more Christmassy after watching this than I did when I watched Vice Versa.
And there was more Halloween stuff in this as well, which is more Christmassy.
Yeah, made me think of Christmas more than all of Vice Versa.
So Daniel LaRusso gets into this tussle with the other hood from Cobra Kai and basically gives him a good smack around the chops, and the coach is just like, look, I ain't having that on this team, you are out of here.
But Ralph DiMaggio, he almost starts on the fucking...
The school sucks!
He's hot-headed, isn't he?
He is.
So that's it, he's gone, he's done, he walks out.
But she likes a bit of that, I think. She likes a bad boy, doesn't she? We know that because she went out with old thingy from Cobra Kai.
And you don't get much more bad than him.
No, but now she wants a bit of rough.
Well, this guy walks out of trials. He's badass.
And they could have probably done with an Italian footballer on their team. And, you know, in American school in the 80s, I doubt there was many Italian footballers there.
It would have been a novelty.
The flair.
Anyway, Daniel's back in his apartment and he is looking at a book that teaches you karate, apparently. So he's there just swinging his leg back and forward, and in comes Mr. Miyagi, and he's like, here, fix faucet.
And he is brilliant in this, isn't he? The guy who plays Mr. Miyagi.
I think his being a comedian is just 90% timing, because none of his lines are massive. Everything is just quite quick, quite in there, but he manages to evoke all these different feelings by very short sentences, or even just a few words.
Nominated for an Oscar for it.
Yes.
Well deserved.
Don't they say that a lot of comedians are good at sort of like making serious sort of stuff because
Williams.
Yeah, because obviously the way that they're trained to do comedy lends itself real well to stuff that is.
Tom Hanks, these people that like sort of come in as sort of like comedic actors, but then they turn out to be brilliant. Yeah, they definitely. Tears of a Clown, Alan.
Indeed, Tone, indeed, yes.
So Mr. Miyagi is fixing this tap, and the thing is that when you look back on it and you've watched it a few times, you realise just how quickly he's really clocking Daniel and sussing him out. He sort of says to him, "What happened, I?" And he's like, "Oh, I fell off my bike." He's like, "Oh, lucky no hurt hand." So he's like, he's got you there, mate. He knows you're bullshitting. He's wise to his shit, and he's hopefully going to get on the case. So going back to school again, Daniel LaRusso flirts a bit more with Ali, and he buys her lunch. So ever expanding on this relationship, and getting a bit closer all the time.
Her friends are fucking stupid bitches.
They're real
They
cunts to him,
are.
aren't they? They're real horrible to him, like, yeah.
But they, again, that's just testament to the acting of like the characters. Is like everybody's perfect. You do love to hate them. You're
Rich
like, oh my,
bitch.
yeah.
This is my friend, the rich bitch.
He's like, "Hi, I'm Daniel." She's like, "Charmed." Doesn't even like look at him. It's like, oh.
They're all up their own ass, aren't they? They're not salt of the earth like old Ralph Macchio.
No, that's right. So after school, Daniel's meeting his mum at a restaurant. A bit weird this, because when I was a kid, it never occurred to me that it was a restaurant. I always thought that was their front room, because when he runs across the road...
That's fucking bad.
No, listen, when he runs across the road, his mum's in the window and she looks like she's setting the table.
She's fucking working, isn't she? She's at work.
She's at a restaurant?
Yeah, she gets up at the end of the scene. She gets up and like her boss is like, "All right, come on back."
He's like, "Come on, I'm about to get her in a minute." Have you seen this film multiple times, darling?
Fucking hundreds. But the thing is, she says at the beginning she's working in computers.
She didn't get the job, did she?
But there's a bit where she's fucking sat at a computer being trained how to do something, and he's there in the background.
She might have 2 jobs.
She ended up working as a waitress.
Right, I did not get that.
Wow.
That explains a lot of things. And now that we've ascertained that his mum works at this restaurant, which is fucking weird and brand new information to me, you see from the inside out that there's a dojo right behind across the street. So Daniel runs over and he taps on the window and just kind of mouths through there. "I'm going over there, I'm just going to have a look at this." This is kind of like when we first meet the Cobra Kai in their entirety, along with their sensei, John Kreese.
He looks like a turd.
A turn of hair on.
He has aged well, but if you see him in Cobra Kai...
I've seen pictures of him.
Does he look the same?
I would have put money on him being dead. He does look a bit leathery, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
And it's kind of like, fuck,
He's a
but
very good villain.
he is. He's a Vietnam vet.
You see a picture of him in Nam
Yes.
on the wall.
Yeah,
You see, he was the karate champion of his platoon or some shit, wasn't he?
Yeah.
but that's very much more explained in Cobra Kai, the 2020s version. versions. Like, you know, if you haven't watched those, watch all these and then watch those. You will not be sorry. So as they walk into the dojo, you can literally hear sort of being repeated, pain does not exist in this dojo, does it? And he says the same again about fear, and he says about defeat, and it's just being repeated, and he's like, fuck, okay. And it turns out that they're studying something called the Way of the Fist. The Way of the Fist motto is to strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
Do you like the Way of the Fist, Al?
That's how I practice my sex.
Do you strike
first, strike fast, and that's it. But with the fucking fist.
It's not got quite the same ring to it, Al. So anyway, you see all the Cobra Kai assembled around the mats, and when everybody bows, you see it's Johnny Lawrence. It is head Cobra Kai Hood, and Daniel just like looks. He's kind of like, fuck.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
He's like, right, okay, well, I'm not doing this then. So he goes back to the restaurant and he meets his mum.
Who's at work?
Yeah.
Where did you? So you thought this was their living room?
No. When I was a kid, I did. But obviously, I could see that they were in a restaurant.
Yeah.
I've known that for years. But when I was a kid, I had just no concept. I just assumed she was having dinner, so it must be their front room window looking out or something.
Right.
But then, as I've got older, I have never, ever twigged to the fact that she works there. I always thought, why the fuck is she like laying the table?
You see them in the background. They spot him, don't they?
Yeah,
They run off like they're about to do something.
I think they run off so they can go and wait for him to cycle past so they can fucking
Because
jump.
they run over,
course,
don't
yes,
they?
yes,
and then
of
it's kind of like they pull each other back, and then they're like, no, then they run away again, and it's kind of like, I think they're saying like, you know, should we go and fuck with him now? And it's like, no, let's wait for his mum not to be around. Just still in the restaurant though, he has a chat with his mum, and she asks him if he's met anybody, and he sort of goes a bit bashful, and he tells her about Ali. So
he tells her about it after she's gone for like fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah,
he
he's still
does.
he's still himself.
That way.
So yeah, she's hot, you know, I think she like it. Lots of this is one-ers, so lots of it is one shot, and the whole scene is played without any cuts, and it's just really nice because the acting in it is so fucking good. They're just really watchable scenes. But there's lots of it where it's quite clever. Like in that scene, you see loads of stuff happening in the background, and throughout the film, there's just lots of real good one-shots where if you filmed it now, they'd be cutting away to different angles, but it's much better.
The next bit is him riding home. He's on his own, but that is just a really well shot. It's like it's filmed from down the bottom of a big grassy bank. They've backlit it, so it's almost like the moon shining on him. It's like silhouetted with light just illuminating him.
So you can only
it's
see
really
the
clever
silhouettes.
because they've not overlit the shot. They've just made that whatever light they were using, it kind of like really defines the edge of the hill and the horizon and things like that. But they also, it's supposed to be moonlight, I think, which is why you don't see it. And again, I think that's a Bill Conti thing. There's like a little like, you know,
But it's also a little bit Lost Boys-y as well.
Again, yeah, definitely, because then the music sort of kicks up a gear, and then you hear the rev of the engines, and here come the Cobra Kai, and basically they surround him on their little mopeds. I'm sure they're probably only 50 cc.
Well, you see their shadows along the building, don't you?
Again,
the background
it's like a horror film, isn't it?
Yeah,
and it really sets the mood. Again, that music starts really gently, and then as you hear the bikes arrive, it revs up and the music kicks in. It just really helps the mood, and they surround him, and they're like, you want to learn karate, Daniel? Here's your first lesson, how to fall. And they ride him off a hill, and to be fair, like, you know, whoever's doing that stunt, he does take a hell of a tumble.
It's a fucking bit fucking harsh by them guys, isn't it? He could have seriously fucking hurt himself.
It's very mean.
Man, that's just mean. That's mean, man.
Very mean-spirited. Yeah. He's a new guy in town. They should be welcoming him.
But it's a right royal hazing.
Oh.
He's understandably upset about this, so we now see him back at his apartment complex.
Stupid bike! I hate bike!
I mean, to be fair, it was all the bike's fault.
I couldn't quite figure out his bike because it looked like a BMX, but then it looked like a normal-sized bike. So I don't know whether or not he had a giant BMX or it was a normal bike.
Because he's little.
He's fucking tiny, isn't he?
Christ, he's tiny. He's just a little guy.
But, you know, I think you're right. I think it was like a hybrid.
It was like a big rally, wasn't it? Or something?
Yeah,
It was like somebody got a mountain bike and put like BMX components on
it
it.
was odd, very odd.
But anyway, it ends up in the skip, like the communal skip.
I mean, it wasn't the bike's fault,
The
was it?
dumpster.
But Mr. Miyagi, he's been secretly listening inside.
When his mum confronts Daniel's son first, she's like, "What's going on? I can't help you unless you tell me." He's like, "Mum, I get a bit of Mum,
You don't even ask me if we want to move real bar.
And then they have this big thing, and he
That's
lets it
right.
all out, doesn't he? And then Mr. Miyagi hears all that.
You won't let me learn karate. I need to learn karate. Hey, we gonna go get some spaghetti and learn some karate, huh?
Anyway, so Daniel's back at school, and this time he's sporting some fantastic camo bottoms.
He's got a fucking check shirt and fucking the worst combat trousers. It's such a bad combo.
And it's got the shirt tucked in.
Yeah.
I mean, tucking the shirt in, I don't know if that was ever good.
I mean, you
but
could
into
probably get away with the jeans, but not with
into a pair of camo trousers.
trousers.
That's poor, isn't it?
He was bringing his East Coast style.
I don't think there was any. There was no style there.
West Coast.
there wasn't. I know there was.
That's why they were picking on him.
Although he did have a pretty decent pair of Nikes.
So he's walking down the corner dressed in his camo gear, and he sees Ali party again, and they have a little chat and decide that they're going to go on a date. But as they're walking along discussing it, Daniel sees the Cobra Kai all sat around their bikes in the car park, and he's like, oh shit, so he chickens out, he turns around, he makes some excuse.
He really shits his pants.
He does. But I don't know if you've ever been there. Have you ever been on the end of a bully?
No, not really, no, not like that.
If I've been there, it's kind of like, you know, you do fucking go out of your way to like avoid them.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like, you know, you might go by, but it might be a half an hour of shit, and it's just easy to fucking turn around and go the other way.
Oh man, I'm really sad you told me that, Tom.
That's right, man, I got fucking hard.
It's hard now.
Did you get trained by a janitor?
I was nowhere in Owls League.
You weren't groomed by some guy in a garage?
No, I wasn't that fortunate. I taught myself everything I know.
It made me the hard man you see before you wrote night art.
So anyway, he runs away, and Ali's like, you gotta deal with this sometime, Daniel. It's like, you deal with it your way, I'll deal with it mine. So when he's walking down talking to her and her friend, she's like, what sort of bike do you have, Daniel? Is it like a Suzuki or Honda? And he's like, no, it's like a Miyagi Turbo, actually. So I waited and looked at the credits, and then I put the subtitles on as well, just to double check it. And Miyagi is spelled M-I-J-A-Y-A. And Mr. Miyagi's name is spelled M-I-Y-A-G-A. But he doesn't know Mr. Miyagi's name yet. That hasn't happened. So what is the odds of them having a bike that... Is he pretending he's got a motorbike and it's a brand that we've never heard of? But why Miyagi and Miyagi? And the people later on do confuse his dojo name and call it Miyagi-Do. So what the fuck is this about?
He kept calling him Mr. Miyagi.
Up until like halfway through the film, he was calling Mr. Miyagi.
Why are you using a Miyagi Turbo for his bike?
Sounds Japanese.
I mean, but it could be called a Miyagi Turbo, but if it is...
Did you Google Miyagi Turbo?
I did not.
So you went back and watched the subtitles to see what he was saying, but then you left it there.
Yeah.
You didn't go and...
That's poor, isn't it?
It's weird that you went so far just to give up.
Yeah. I'll do it tonight.
I don't think it's a real bike.
It'd be fucking late tonight, wouldn't it, to be recorded?
He's going to re-record himself at home. Insert it in. Edit it in.
Miyagi Turbo was released.
So...
I've had a couple of Miyagi Turbos before. Put your socks off.
Careful of the Miyagi Turbos.
I'll have half.
As great as I was, I'm really losing my buzz now.
Oh, sorry, Tom.
He gets home, and at the bottom of his stairs, that there is his bike, and it's all gleaming and fixed and put back together. So, like, you know, he looks at it and he's like, oh, wow, my bike's back. And I don't know, he's had very little to do with this guy, but somehow he thinks, I know, the janitor must have fixed it.
The janitor. The janitor. It must have been the janitor.
Because he doesn't bother thinking, oh, maybe it was Freddie as an apology, or maybe my mum's seen it and fixed it. His first thought is, yeah, that little guy catching flies with the chopsticks, he's done it. So he knocks on his door and he's like, hello, you fixed my tap. And he's like, he's like, then can
you do all the voices?
For E Honda.
Anyway, he's like, did you fix my bike? And he's like, yep, I did. He goes in and then he starts having a little mooch around Mr. Miyagi's room.
Is he Ralph Macchio?
Fucking hell.
You like that, didn't you?
So this time, Ralph Macchio is looking around and Mr. Miyagi, he's been trimming bonsai trees.
And I never knew that was how you trimmed it. I never knew it was like a big bush and then you cut it into a tree like that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably more commercial ways now that they don't care, but I mean, his way of doing it is you picture what you want the tree to look like and then you trim it to the image in your brain.
Yeah, but I think that's the whole philosophy of it. It's like,
that's what I mean, but you go to Wyvale now, they're not going to be sort of sat down and go, right,
buy your bog standard bonsai tree. That's not what it's about, I think.
So this is a really good moment as well, because I feel like, again, Mr. Miyagi, you know, he knows that he's been smacked before when he's fixing his tap, and he tells him it's his bike, but he's like, bullshit, mate, I'll call bullshit.
It's all bullshit. All of it.
And then this time he heard him slagging it off and throwing his bike in there. He knows he's been beaten up again, and something I've never really thought about until I'm looking at it critically. And it's kind of like, you know, he gets him in and sort of puts him in this really peaceful environment and teaches him this almost meditative kind of practice, you know. And it's kind of like Mr. Miyagi knows that he's going through shit, so he, first of all, he makes him really comfortable, but then that's when their first sort of connection is, isn't it, really? I feel like when they're in there and he sort of tells him how to trim a tree and he takes it on board, there's like an unlikely friendship forming there.
Did your karate instructor teach you how to trim his bush?
He did.
Yeah.
Weirdly, though, it was with my teeth.
Was it? Wow.
It was bizarre.
What was this, taking off one of those G-strings that are covered in sweets? Yeah, so
Ralph Macchio's mum comes in, and I think that's the only time in the series that they're actually in a scene together.
What are you saying? You reckon she's like racist or something?
Or the only time they interact, I think, in the whole sort of franchise, even in the other films. Interestingly, in this film, Daniel Russo is in every scene in the film. There's not a scene that he isn't in.
Is that right? Have you read that, or did you pick up on that?
I read that. I read it on Target's notes.
I don't fucking believe that.
So she comes in and basically gets given a load of free shit and doesn't even bother trying to pay him. She's like, well, let me give you some money. He's like, no, please, you hurt the feeling. And she's like, okay, that's very nice, thanks. And she takes whatever he's giving. And then she's like, come on, you got to go now. And he's like, oh yeah, it'll be up in half an hour. So no, school tomorrow. tomorrow, so he leaves with her, which I thought as well was kind of like good because he's playing his age. He's doing what his mum tells him to do.
Yes.
So you get the idea that he's not a rebellious lad, you know, it's helping build his character, and you get, like, okay, he's not a twat, you know, he just goes. But you can hear him gushing on the way out about Mr. Miyagi and his trees, and yeah, there's quite obvious friendship forming there. Daniel's talking to Mr. Miyagi the next day, and they're having a Halloween disco. Yeah. He's kind of like, oh, what's going on, a lot happening, or something, and he's kind of like, it's the school disco or whatever, and he says, you're not going? And he's like, well, no, I'd go if I could be the invisible man. And of course, like, Miyagi understands this, he knows that he's kind of being bullied, so he makes in this quite fantastical costume a shower.
It's quite an elaborate costume. It's like,
Good costume.
it is good, but he's so fucking impractical walking around, you couldn't see where you're going, but obviously it works for the needs that he needs. And I think this Halloween party was really, really cool. It's like a proper 80s sort of Halloween party.
It looked good.
But this one of her mates is like, he must be into fungus. And what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Again, there's some quite cutting insults. No, she says, like, she must be into fungus. She said, calling him mould.
She must be into fungus.
He's a fungus.
Yeah.
Weird, probably because they couldn't have too many swears, I think.
We had one shit in there.
Because there was one other wing, like,
Welcome home to work week.
Must be take a worm for a walk week.
yeah, it's like, what the fuck is that? You know, it's a tongue twister.
So anyway, Daniel gets into this little shower costume. So it's like a shower pole up his back with a shower head, and he's wearing it like a sort of backpack, and it's like got a shower rail that encloses him in so that he can go in and not really be seen. Ali spots the shower and knows it's him, and she sort of like breaks into his shower and goes in there and dances with him. A weird guy dressed as a chicken comes along and smashes real eggs on people's head, and he gets one of those, which takes him to the gents where he's washing the egg out of his hair, but he's kind of got his shower folded around his back so people can't see him unless they really look. And because of that, somebody starts talking. You can hear that Johnny is in one of the cubicles, which are the least private cubicles I've ever seen.
He's making a splang with headphones on.
Yeah,
that's fucking risky.
A Sony Walkman classic.
What does his mate say to him? He's like, have you rolled the bone yet, or something like that?
That's the number rolled yet, man?
Something like that. But when he's making it, it's like a fucking one skin. That's
It looked
he's like,
terrible.
I'm going to go and get the guys. So the guys, it's going to be about enough for fucking one on there.
It's the worst looking joint I've ever fucking
It's
seen.
terrible. He twists
both ends.
I know, he's twisting it so much.
I was like, what's he going to do?
Yeah, that's not
I
good.
just
We look like one of those fun snaps. So the Cobra Kai are all dressed in these pretty elaborate skeleton suits, which, to be fair, are fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most standout things that I remember from it as a kid.
I think I
was
remember seeing the
skeleton
trailer and
costumes.
thinking, fucking hell, this looks terrifying.
That's a fucking solid Halloween outfit, innit? If you,
A load of it, yeah.
You'd be pretty
Yeah.
good to go to a Halloween party dressed as that.
Yeah.
Even better if you went as the fucking shower.
That would be cool. That would be, yeah.
Basically, yeah, you can stand up and look over these cubicle doors. So Daniel realises which one Johnny's in. Round the corner, there's a sink, like a janitor's sink or something. It's got a hose pipe attached to it. So he feeds the hose pipe across some pipes in the roof and leaves it hanging over Johnny's cubicle. He's been talking to Ali earlier, and he sort of says, oh, what goes around comes around. And then she says, oh, I'd like to be there when it comes around. And so, yeah, he turns on this tap, and then he runs out of the toilet, and he's like, sort of sprints past Ali, and she's like, what's going on? And he's like, it's coming around. And he runs out of the gym where they're having the party to another fantastic tune. This one is called No Shelter by Broken Edge.
Oh.
No shelter. When the skeletons are chasing him, like, it's a good tune.
Quite
But it
precarious
starts
as well,
to turn
isn't it?
sinister. As he gets stitched and
Again,
he's like trapped.
Yeah, he starts off with a hell of a pace on him across the fields, and like you said, yeah, he's like literally at the end, he's really pumping his fucking arms, trying to get a bit of breath in him, and he's fucking falling fast. A chain link fence is like all that separates him from a bit of freedom, but as he gets there, he runs out of juice, and he gets to the top of the fence, but can't make it over, and he's yanked back over by these 6 skeletons, and you're like, right, the fuck, mate, you're having it, aren't you? He's knackered, and then he's had a beating.
And that one guy's like, don't leave him alone, Johnny, he's had enough, he's had enough.
I say when he's had enough, and it's like, yeah, and he
Real, like, 80s punk.
should we put it to the vote? He's like, has he had enough?
I'll tell you when he's had enough, goddammit.
Yeah.
He's like the one decent Cobra Kai like lad, isn't he?
He is.
He's alright.
Do you reckon he's from the wrong side of the tracks as well?
Maybe.
Do you reckon he's...
He features in a fight later on, doesn't he? And he's very apologetic.
Yeah.
So they're all picking him up and just deciding who's going to batter him first when you see this little silhouette of some Chinese hero.
I thought you were going into Bohemian Rhapsody then.
So basically, Mr. Miyagi has arrived and he challenges the 6 guys. Again, we're in this era. James Bond did it a lot. It would appear that you can knock people out by simply grabbing their arm and flipping them over.
He kicks that one guy right in the fucking nuts.
He does
Savage.
kick a few guys, but quite a few of them are knocked out by a good flip.
What, 9 seconds it takes for him to take all of those guys down, and he just shows off his martial arts prowess in all that.
Yeah, the classic sort of slap and flip, isn't it?
Yeah, it moves so quick. You have to be a real dick and like me and be rewinding it and watching it and seeing exactly who gets what, but it moves so fast you can forgive it. It doesn't look like a shit fight.
Well, the fights are quite good, I think, the whole way through. I think the fights are quite believable. But it's none of it's karate, is it? It's actually some Korean martial art. We'll get to it later on, but you know when they're actually having the competition, there's the guy who's quite buff, who's like the referee. Yeah, he's the actual fight coordinator. He trained under Chuck Norris.
Is that the one with the massive forehead? The black guy with like a bigger receding hairline than me.
No, not him. No. The white guy with the tash. He's quite sort of muscly. He's like the ref. He does all the fight choreography through the film. He's done loads of fucking movies as well. He didn't know karate, so none of it's karate in the film.
It'd just be the kid.
Be the mixed martial art kid.
His style is all about sort of defence and using people against themselves anyway, so he doesn't have to look hard or anything. He manages to fend off these 6 guys and give them all a good hiding. And then we go into Mr. Miyagi's little hut again. He presents him with the headband, but in the form of a dressing. And he's like, "Got to drink my tea."
He was tending to his wounds, wasn't he?
He was mopping his brow and force feeding him tea. It was like bottom.
He wasn't just using water though. He was using some sort of.
You saying it was just like semen or something?
No. Because Daniel's like, "What's that smell?" or something. He said,
it doesn't smell good.
Make you feel better or something. I thought it was like something he was putting on his head, but it might have actually just been the tea.
Elixir.
No, I think you're right. I think there was some sort of like ancient Chinese recipe in there or something like that, or some Okinawan recipe.
Mystic, isn't he? He's a bit mystic.
Well, that's it. It's like he's got like a little bit of Jedi power, but just enough so that it's not quite real.
I mean, that hand slapping thing.
He goes on to explain that there was Te, which is like a sort of hand, and then Karate, which is an open hand, and one of his ancestors developed that, so it's kind of like an Okinawan thing that he knows, and he's just a bit of a badass. And Daniel says to him, like, would you teach me? And he's like, well, what do you want to learn for? He's like, well, revenge. They decide to go together to the Cobra Kai dojo because Mr. Miyagi says there's no such thing as a bad student, it's got to be the teacher. So, these people who are beating you up, if we can talk to the guy, then we can stop it.
Well, Karate Kid wanted to go, didn't they? And Mr. Miyagi said no originally, and then Daniel
but the thing is, he's beaten up 6 Cobra Kais, and now they probably aren't going to have a go at him. They'll go and have a go at Daniel. So he's like, well, fuck you, I've got your problems now as well, thanks for nothing. He's like, right, Daniel son, I go. He's pulled a mindfuck on him and he's going. As they're leaving, Daniel says to him, he's like, oh, what kind of belt do you have? He's like, canvas. And he's like, first in Okinawa, man, no need rope, hold up pants.
He comes out with some good one-liners. Get going, man, I'm gonna die. He goes, I'm gonna die anyway. There's all little nuggets like that the whole way through. Yeah. That's why I think him being a comedian actually really, really worked, because it did make him so likeable. He's a bit like Yoda, isn't he, in Empire?
He's not bothered by much, is he? He's one of those guys you think it doesn't matter what's happening in a year's time. He's thought about it and he knows what's going on. You feel quite safe around him. So next morning Daniel rocks up and Mr. Miyagi's like, you know how to drive? And he's like, no. He's like, me neither. He's like, I haven't got a license. He's like, me neither. And they both get in this van anyway and drive to this dojo. And this time the Cobra Kai are in there shouting, I kill, I kill. It's a cheery place. So
doesn't hide their intentions well.
No. And one of the gang has turned up with a broken arm.
And what's he thinking?
To karate, you'd be like, you can have this one. That's so terrified they were, their sensei.
Yeah, obviously how bad that is. So they stand in the background there and they watch a little spar going on.
Before that though, the fucking karate teacher grabs that fucking student and is like, you didn't see me coming, did you? Do 60 push-ups. Fuck me. On your knuckles.
That lad's just in the background like, 60 fucking push-ups.
Yeah, he's a mean motherfucker like Kreese, like, you won't take any prisoners. So Johnny is distracted and keeps side-eyeing Miyagi and Daniel, and as Kreese is going around kicking people's asses and shouting his mantra, he's like, what is the problem, Mr. Lawrence? Johnny whispers in the sensei's ear and he looks over and the sensei and Miyagi have a chat and Miyagi says, 1-on-1, fair enough. 5-on-1, too much to ask of anybody. And it's fair enough. That's fair enough. So Kreese is like, well, all right then, let's have a 1-on-1 now. You up for sparring, Johnny? And he's like, yeah, yes, sensei, I'm up for it.
He's fucking fronting it though, that Kreese. He's been a right twat.
He is, but that is him. The more you see of him. Anyway, so Miyagi has this idea and he spots in the little poster in the background there's an All-Valley tournament coming up. And he says, we're not going to fight here. There's too much advantage. It's your dojo. So why don't we fight at this tournament? He says, yeah, right. Okay, we'll do that. We'll fight at the tournament. And he said, well, I've got one more thing. Nobody touches my student. Leave him alone to train. They end up leaving, and as they're crossing back over the road, Daniel's like, what the hell have you just done? You just got me into a tournament. I thought you were supposed to make things better. And he's like, I did. And he's like, how? He's like, save you 2 months of beating. So he's got 8 weeks where nobody's going to touch him. We know that Mr. Miyagi has got a little hut on the apartment complex, but now we go back to what is his actual house.
It's fucking cool, this place.
Yeah, it is.
He's got some coin from somewhere, hasn't he?
Yeah. Well, I bet he's worth it.
Well, he's got these fucking cars out the front, hasn't he? And he said, where'd you get them from? He's like, Detroit. So he's like, I bet he sells cars.
Or he's a car collector.
He's got fucking 4 cars.
He's a car salesman.
But I think he's like probably a man that lives quite a humble life. Do you know what I mean?
I suppose he amasses money.
Yeah,
Detroit is where the Ford factory is, and all those vehicles I'm pretty sure were Fords.
They weren't free though, were they?
No, but I'm saying maybe he's like a buyer and seller of Fords.
He's too quiet to be a car salesman.
He's too quiet to kick 6 teenagers' asses.
Well, no,
he's a janitor.
Yeah, he's got that sort of like wily shit about him, isn't he? But like a car salesman, he needs to be.
No, I don't mean he's going to come out and be like.
He's not a car
salesman.
Good afternoon, ma'am. You look like you're in the mood for something powerful under your legs. Like, he's not going to be that kind of bloke. He's probably just like
Honest Miyagi's second hand.
Yeah,
he's not a fucking
Is that the name of his Honest Miyagi.
He puts it in the California ad mag. But yeah, anyway, so they go back to this house, and basically Mr. Miyagi agrees to train him, but he says, we're going to make a sacred pact now. Will you be up for it?
Bring back flashbacks out.
He never had, is it?
We're going to make a pact.
He never had trousers.
He was in his karate uniform.
His pyjamas.
Crotchless, though. Weirdly.
So Daniel says, yep, yeah, I'm up for that. I'll do as you tell me to do. So he goes to shake Mr. Miyagi's hand, and Mr. Miyagi dumps a sponge in it, and he's like, you've got to wash all these cars, and when you're done washing them, you've got to wax them. This is where we first learn of the infamous wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off.
With your left hand, you've got to do this 360 motion, that's wax on, and with your right hand, wax off.
I reckon he could have been a bit more specific about what
I'm with you.
He didn't need to spell it out totally, but he could have been a bit more specific.
Yeah. Well, I think it really was a test of just like how
dedicated are you to learning
dedicated.
It was the journey of it.
I do agree they're going to see whether he's going to stick to his deal and he's going to do a load of shit jobs for him, but I reckon he could have got more out of that training if he'd just given him a bit more motivation.
I mean, the clock is ticking.
Yeah. What I mean is, he's obviously like, move your hand like this, breathe, move your hand like that, but I think if he'd have given him a little bit more direction, that would have been more useful than fucking doing it for 8 hours without it.
I have got a problem with every task he gets him to do. He's not there. He sets him on it. A lot of the tasks he completes.
But is that part of the whole not wanting him to give up, but see if he'll give up because he looks like he doesn't give a shit?
Yeah, you're right. He keeps on disappearing, which is kind of nice because he's like,
he's going to sell cars.
Yeah.
Motherfucker's got to eat.
A little thing they could have maybe done is actually shown him, like, you know, he was just spying from the other side of the road. He never really went anywhere anyway. It would have been quite a nice little touch, perhaps. It was.
But as an audience member, you're supposed to be as surprised as Daniel's son is, aren't you? When he's like,
well, yeah, would he give it? Yeah,
that's the thing. Yeah.
But it's a nice little bit. And I remember when I first saw that as a kid, I thought that was all awesome. And the way I watched it with my family when I was a kid, I remember everybody, like even like fucking people who were in their 40s or 50s at the time, thought
people would stand up and cheering. Parties in the street.
He finishes the cars and goes back inside the house to tell Mr. Miyagi he's done. Now, Mr. Miyagi is either asleep or in some sort of trance, but he's sat up and he's having a good old snore.
He's fallen asleep meditating.
He's meditating.
And then we cut back to school the next day where we see Daniel bumping into Ali again. Her gaze goes upwards and sees more injuries, and she's like, that's it, I've had enough, I'm going to go and sort it out, I'm going to go and tell Johnny. And he's like, whoa, hang on, don't worry about it, we've sorted things out, we've got a deal, don't worry. And then she's like, what do you mean? And he happens to bump into the hoods, you know, and he sort of says, like, sorry about your eye, sorry about your arm.
He makes out like it was him that beat him up.
Yeah, I don't know. He says to her afterwards, we've got a deal, like they agree not to hit me and I agree not to bleed on them. So I don't think he's trying to be too much of a hero, but I think he just knows that they're not going to touch him. But that really fucks him off, you know, they're really chomping at the bit, aren't they? Like somebody needs to be held back. But just in time, a teacher walks by and Daniel sort of says, hey, I really enjoyed that speech you gave the other day about, you know, whatever it was, but I was trying to explain it to my mates here, but they didn't get it. Can you explain it again? Thinking he's going to get them all stuck learning something or an extra lesson. And the guy says, yeah, I've got a free period right now. But all the Cobra Kai, they go, oh, I've got to go, and they all leg it. And basically Daniel there has got to eat shit and he's stuck with the teacher who says, yeah, I'll tell you again and then you can explain it to them.
That is how it went down.
Word for word.
That was watching the film. But worse.
Oh. I thought I was really there. I'm going here now. So next scene is Daniel turns up now on the Saturday night. He's picking Ali up from her house and he goes to the address, pulls up outside this pretty palatial looking house in their green family wagon, whatever it is.
They didn't have a fence.
I didn't notice.
They didn't need one.
Well, no.
A nice area.
It is a nice area. It really bothered me that they only had a small wall.
Did you find it offensive?
Oh.
Probably in an upper class area. They don't need to worry about it. A gated community somewhere out there.
Well, yeah, it looks like the sort of place that security guards drive around. So anyway, while they're pulling up and Daniel's walking up to the house, a little car pulls up into the driveway. Ali opens the door, she comes out and it turns out it's her parents just pulling up.
Just in sportswear?
Yeah. They'd been enjoying a game of squash.
Yeah,
do you reckon?
They look like they play squash.
They look like they play squash.
All badminton.
Yeah, squash or badminton. And he had the towel wrapped around his neck, didn't he? The dad.
He was not fucking around. There was no sweat going down that back.
Yeah.
He was definitely a member of the golf club, he was.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a country club.
Yeah, the country club which gets mentioned.
Anyway, again, there's an opportunity here for the class thing to come in, and it kind of does, but not really. They're quite polite to him. You can tell there's a bit of snobbishness. It does pop out later, but, you know, at the moment it's all pretty nice, like, nice to meet you. So they go off on their date, but Daniel's mum has to drive them, obviously, and this is why I thought it was quite a nice little sort of thing in the very first scene. The car breaks down, because basically it breaks down again, and it's kind of like, what do you not want to happen in front of your girlfriend's rich parents? You know, we already look bad enough. They go to golf and stuff,
which is class.
It looks like a laugh, that place. That looks like the fucking best date of all time, I reckon.
They're like a nighttime fucking swimming bath bit with slides, and
But
then
I
they had
think-
like
so-
arcades, videos,
Mini
amazing.
golf.
So-
Amazing night.
Go-karts.
This is like a Mandela moment, right? The golf and stuff. I've looked it up before to see if it was real, and it said that it had shut down. Thought I'll give it another try last night, so I looked it up. And golf and stuff has got about 4 places, I think, and this one is in Norwalk, California. I swear to God, I've looked it up and it said it was closed down and like it's dilapidated or whatever, but it's very much open. But it does say that there was one point where they took the water slide away. So don't get your hopes up about it being a big water park.
I ain't going in.
No, but you said it looks like a real laugh, and I'm thinking that they filmed close-ups of everything, but you didn't get to see the whole place. I imagine it's...
I saw people coming down that.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying it's only a slide. People are taking swimming costumes to a place that's got a slide and a drop pool. Like, it's not exactly like you're going to go and get in the wave machine or the lazy river. It's very small.
I ain't worried about that.
So the point is that it's very much open, and they do advertise the fact that Karate Kid filmed there, and on their website they even say, like, do you want to use us for your film or documentary or anything? They're pimping themselves right out, but they are there, which is really bizarre, because I was quite happy about that, because in my head I thought it was...
You spent the last 5 minutes mouthing them off, telling them, you know, you,
No, I'm just saying, I don't...
Their park shit and then slides rubbish, and don't get your fucking hopes up.
I reckon it'd be great if you lived 5 minutes down the road.
Well, they have a lovely date there.
It looks like fun, despite Tarby's poo-pooing.
It's a cheap amusement park, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's ones called Fun Spots in like Florida, and they're exactly the same. They've got like go-karts and like little rides.
There's bumper boats.
Go-karts real.
If I was in the 80s and I was a teenager, you know, you ain't got much in the way of video games or things like what are you going to do tonight? That is what
You'd be
do,
hanging
wouldn't
out
you?
down
You'd
there,
all be
wouldn't
fucking
you?
down there, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Zombie wouldn't. He'd be alone fucking saying he was shit.
I wouldn't be taking my trunks to go down a fucking
That slide's
slide.
not real.
No, but you go in and you slide down it and you get soaked, and then you go up and you go down it again. And how many times can you do that?
I don't
I reckon there's
know.
more
That's
to
why
it.
the fucking slide is not there.
You don't know
because
that in whatever version of this film there is, there's not like a pool area.
They must have a pool. They can't just have a slide.
it's a drop pool. It's where the slide comes out, but that's it.
Nah.
I'm telling you, I'll Google Earth this shit.
You
and
told
I'll send
me
you a picture.
you were sure it was closed before today.
So I did some research, and I can tell you now for facts what is there. And
Yeah,
that's
yeah. But you told me before that they closed down.
That's what I thought, yeah. But frankly, I come armed with facts now.
How's the fucking date go?
Great.
Looks like fun.
and it goes on to the backdrop of another great tune called Feel the Night, and this one is by Bill Conti, and it's I need a picture to remember you by. It's fucking...
Wow.
It's great, isn't it?
Chills there.
Silk.
I need a picture to remember this by.
Again, really sets the scene. Really good scene. You get the idea. They got very close very quick. So they leave the park together, and some yuppie wannabe pulls up in like what looks like a Trans Am and hits on Ali. Yeah, just like, you know, while she's with her potential boyfriend. You know, if it was just a girl and the guy walking together, you'd be like, "Hey, good looking. Do you want a lift?"
It's a bit weird, that character, isn't it? That bit.
It was like an old friend or something, I thought.
Yeah, well, he banged her, innit?
Maybe.
Wow.
Or he tried to in the past.
Wow.
Dorothy Mantooth is a city. Hey.
Was it her way to, you know, to solidify how she felt about the Karate Kid, because she sort of says, "No, on your way, pal." But like, you know, he just pulls up out of nowhere. He's like, "All right, come with me."
It was establishing that she wasn't worried about money, I think, was the thing. Because he had his own car and he looks a bit posh, he's a bit older, that she wasn't interested in that. I think that's what it was.
But Daniel did sort of...
He bristled.
That's when the Cobra Kai turn up, and they're in a fancy car as well, and her posh mates are in there with them, and they're like, "Do you want to come with us?"
Your little friend can come too if it's okay with his mommy.
And as he says that, his mum pulls up and goes like, "Hi, kids," and like really fucking puts a downer on it. So
yeah,
that's when he gets in the car and he's almost like, "Fuck!" Like
It was supposed to be a sign to strengthen their relationship, but
He squandered it.
In matter of fact, it's weakened it.
But yeah, and it's not the first time he does it. He gets a lucky break again, but it's kind of like, I think he goes in trying to fix things and fucks it. But anyway, early in the morning now, we're at Mr. Miyagi's house again, and he's about to learn his second lesson, which is the same thing sort of as the wax on, wax off, but this time he's wearing like little hand sanders.
That sounds so funny.
Hand sander.
Adam hand sander.
Oh, nice. They look like if you basically put your hand in between, like...
A mini bongo.
Yeah. So Mr. Miyagi says, "Right, now you need to sand the floor." And he's like, "What the fuck?" Looks down and he's got this deck in and it goes all the way around. So Mr. Miyagi's got this really quite big oriental garden going on.
It's lovely. Zen.
It is very nice. And there's a pathway going all through it, a wooden thing that I'm guessing he probably built. So it's only fair. Huh?
It's his dick.
Is what?
His dick.
I don't know what that is. What?
It's his deck.
Oh.
It's his deck. It's his dick.
Schaefer's New Zealand style dick sealant. The best way to take care of your dick in 3 easy steps.
So he says, "Show me how you sand the floor." So he gets down and he just starts doing like your basic back and forward motion. He's like, "No, stop that." He said, "You got to do this." He's like, "Sand the floor. Sand the floor." And this time it's the same words, but you know, he's just doing the same thing as wax on, wax off. But he has to do the whole deck.
Wash your dick with soap and water. Then wait for your dick to dry. Once your dick is clean and dry, paint your dick with Schaefer's dick sealant.
Same circular motion.
Yeah.
Circular, circle, with the music, the flow. All good things.
So he finishes and he goes to show Mr. Miyagi and he's kind of like, hey, I finished the floor for you. But Mr. Miyagi's just like, oh, great, thanks.
See you tomorrow. 6
He's like, come early in the morning. And next morning he walks in early again and he's now again trying to catch flies with his chopsticks. And he says to Daniel, the man who can catch fly with chopstick can accomplish anything. So Daniel says, can I have a go? And like Mr. Miyagi's like, if you wish. So he gives him his chopsticks. And he has a few swipes, but on like the fourth one or something, he gets one.
Mr. Miyagi set that up to give him confidence.
Oh, I don't know.
Mr. Miyagi was not happy though, was he?
I think he was pretending to be pissed off, whereas he didn't really care.
Do you think he had some hand in it?
I don't know, I just said it then.
Controlling the fly.
What do you think of that? Maybe, well, I don't know.
Maybe, no. I think he was quite impressed, even though he was a bit...
Well, yeah, you couldn't help but be a bit envious, could you? But you'd be like, you lucky bastard.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, you beginner luck. So we go outside then, and this is where we find lesson 3. And this is paint offence. So this is like a big vertical sort of like 6 foot plus fence.
I reckon he's taking the piss a bit.
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you? Yes. Well, I mean, like the whole fence thing, I would have done this, but yeah. So he's doing this, he's like, you got to move now up and down, and he shows him like these firm strokes up and down, like very regiment.
Do you like a firm stroke?
Did you bring back more memories out of the garage?
Firm strokes.
Not vinegar strokes.
No. And certainly not the different strokes.
Different strokes to move the world.
He finishes painting the fence and he goes to see Mr. Miyagi again. He goes, that's it, I'm all done, I'm all finished. And he just looks at him and says, both side. And then he looks at him and he's like, not yet. It doesn't look good, he's going to have to do the whole fucking thing. So yeah, that would have been me broken, I think, on that point, painting that all again. I think I would have been like, I don't need to cry this badly. So anyway, he tells him to come early again the next day, and this time when he turns up, now he's really taking the piss.
He's not even there.
He's not even there. Just a load of paint on the floor, a bit of a dust sheet and a brush, and it just says, paint house, no up, down, go side, side, which I thought was quite funny because he's now writing how he talks. Like, he didn't bother putting in, like, you know, go from left to right or anything. Like, he's just going, go side, side. When Mr. Miyagi gets back, that house is painted.
Almost.
But he's doing these little tiny shitty strokes.
That's what he was there all fucking day.
Now, if he's painted the whole house like that, what has he really learned from this lesson?
Speed.
So basically, Mr. Miyagi turns up and he's like, oh, you missed a spot. And like Daniel sort of like gets a bit irate and he's like, I've sanded your floors, I've painted your fences, I've painted your house, I've had enough, you're taking the piss. And he sort of says, I want you to show me wax on, wax off. And he's like, I can't move my arm. It's like, you've broken me over these past few days. And Mr. Miyagi claps his hands together and rubs them for what must be 5 seconds.
What are you doing?
And then he puts his hand up Daniel's top.
Caresses
his nipple.
His nipple, gently.
Yeah. And then with his other hand, he puts it on his shoulder, and you just hear this little crack, and all of a sudden his shoulder is back in place. So Mr. Miyagi has done some magic.
Healing hands.
Some Jedi power.
Yeah, some sort of mystic oriental art.
And he's like, show me paint the fence. Again, he gets it wrong, and he's like, no, big strokes. So he could have taught him all this stuff without all the stuff, but I guess that was like just him hardening him up.
I think he could have, if he had just given him a bit more, he could have done both, I think.
Yeah, well, this is it, yeah.
It wouldn't have been as more powerful in its meaning.
It wouldn't have been even hard. He doesn't have to say this is a karate move. He could have given him more of like, like this, like this.
Yeah.
But it would have been even harder for him.
But it's patience and determination, isn't it? Whenever Daniel's got something to do in life now and Mr. Miyagi's not there, he knows that sometimes there's some real shit with a good payoff.
I reckon he was like 40% training him, 60% he wanted his house
done up.
He's
a shyster.
Yeah, so maybe he's a used car salesman. Maybe you're alright. Maybe this is what he does.
Anyway,
yeah. No karate. He's like, yeah.
So basically, he's holding Daniel's hands and he's moving them into the position and he's hitting them against.
Fucking hell!
Can't say nothing. And he's moving them and hitting his own hand where he wants them to stop. And basically, what he's doing is showing him that everything that he's learned so far is a blocking technique. And then very slowly, he's like, show me paint a fence. And then Mr. Miyagi tries to hit him, and turns out that painting the fence, if he does the right movement, he's blocking. And he's like, show me sand the floor. Just unleashes hell on him. He's like, aye, and then like, all of a sudden he just blocks like 9 moves.
I didn't believe that.
A tirade of punches. He rained down on young Daniel's son.
He did, but right at that moment is the realisation for Daniel that, oh my god, he's been teaching me and I didn't even know it.
He's been training for 4
But you're not buying this.
I thought it was good.
I did as a kid, and I do buy it, and I will suspend my disbelief when I watch it. But the bit where he starts going hell for leather at him, and he's like fucking blocking it.
I think it's very early days. He's only just learned that he's doing block.
He might have been giving him some shit, easily blockable moves.
Yeah, he's actually throwing his punches.
Well, I know he's not trying to kill him.
Yeah.
But his reactions are very quick to somebody who a minute ago when he said stand the floor, he was like doing this real shit little motion.
It's not a deal breaker for me. I was just a bit like, nah, real off on that.
I thought that was quite good actually. There was something quite nice about it because it was that point where he sort of finally clicked as what was going on.
It's a pivotal moment in the film, undoubtedly. And that's the whole thing. It's like, it's definitely an important moment, and yeah, you could pick holes in it, but the idea is it's inside him now. He doesn't even know how he's doing it. He can just do it.
Inside him.
It's inside him. After showing him the strokes.
So we move on now. He's doing a bit of training on the beach, and Miyagi's getting him to stand in the sea where he gets smashed down by a load of waves, and he's balancing his shit. He's not standing up through anything. He's just jumping when the waves hit and hoping for the best. But while he's doing this, he can see Mr. Miyagi in the distance just stood on a stump, and he's doing this little movement where he like moves his arms up in the air like a bird's wings and then stands on one foot on tiptoes and then manages to do like a flip kick and swap to the other foot and land back on a stump.
Well, it was the infamous crane kick.
The crane kick.
Which doesn't actually exist in martial art, apart from a few years ago as an MMA fighter, I can't remember his name. He didn't put his arms in the air, but he did a similar flip and actually knocked a guy out.
I believe it's an illegal move though, isn't it? In the actual karate world.
Is it, mate?
In the fantasy world of Karate Kid, it might have been illegal, but I don't think that actually exists in karate or what they made it up.
All framed with a lovely musical number as well behind that. Yeah, with the...
Very mystical and Eastern, isn't it? Yeah. So that's setting up the crane kick as well, which is great. So we cut back. Daniel's got out of the sea. He's wrapped in a towel, and they're making their way back to the car, where they find two drunk bums.
Racist 80s bullies.
Yeah. And they've decided, for whatever reason, to use Miyagi's van as a shelf for all their dead bottles. So they're like swigging beer and just putting it on the wheel arch and stuff. And Miyagi comes along and he's like, "Oh, boy cold, need to get home. Like, please remove bottle." And the guy is just like, "Why don't you remove him yourself, Mr. Moto?" And Miyagi again, he's like, "Well, okay, I'll try and get out of this as peacefully as I can." But he just basically out of nowhere, there's like 3 or 4 bottles lined up in a row, and he just summons his inner whatever it is, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and he just like chops the necks only of the bottles.
I ain't having that.
Yeah.
Unless you're willing to entertain that he is slightly magical.
Yeah.
He would have to be so fast to do it without this.
He would look like a right twat if he really cut his hand open.
Yeah.
The good thing about it, I would say they're obviously sugar glass bottles, so they're going to break straight away, but it is still quite good that he doesn't knock any over, because a couple of them do rock.
They would have been fixed on there somewhere.
They're fixed on there.
Very loosely.
I think it would still be quite easy to knock them over.
Not if they're fixed.
They tilt. You see the bottoms of the...
Yeah, they got a string or something in there. Don't know.
Well, again, I don't know, it's weird, because if it was weak enough to break with your hand, then you think the bottle would be weak enough to be ripped off a nail.
Well, you could have the top half as the stunt glass and the bottom half as the metal, say.
Right, okay.
How did you do that?
Don't know. First time.
Then we go back to school, and the Karate Kid and Ali arrange yet another date. This time they're going to be taking their water suits, their trunks, sorry, their water...
the water clothes.
Yeah, that'll do until I can think of the actual name. The swimming costumes.
Oh yeah.
This time they're going to take their costumes back, and they are going to try out that one solitary slide.
Potentially fictional slide.
That is just one thing to do.
I imagine there's more.
I'm going to Google Earth it. So yeah, they're going to arrange to meet at the country club at 9:30. There's a little scene now where Miyagi's got Daniel on the bow of a boat, and he's furthering his balance lessons.
That was good, that bit.
It was, again, another little wholesome bit of music behind it.
Yeah.
But we cut to Ali dancing with her dad, and then her mum dances by and she's dancing with Johnny. So Daniel then is waiting out the front, but she's a little bit late, so he decides to go in through the back and into the kitchen, and he lets himself through, and he can look through the doors into the ballroom, and he looks through and he sees Johnny dancing with Ali, and Johnny looks up and sees him looking through and thinks, fuck right, I'm going to fuck him over here, and he basically plants a kiss on Ali.
Very forward.
It was. No, in any other 80s film that would have worked though.
Yeah.
She would have been his.
That's courting in the 80s.
Yeah. Daniel goes to leave in disgust, but as he turns around he gets hit by a waiter carrying probably his favourite meal.
It was spaghetti. Yeah.
Oh, he's going to be fucking lamenting that, isn't he? He's like, hey, look at this big animal.
He's all upset.
That's what.
Also,
everybody laughs.
Everyone fucking turns around and says,
like, that's real harsh. Not one person.
Well, they're like a bunch of rich bastards, aren't they? So
still, I mean, that room was full of.
Everybody just pointed and laughed.
Yeah. I never even did that. Even the parents are laughing.
Yeah. Do you reckon that was all the parents of the Cobra Kai?
Yeah, I think that's when you sort of learn the snobbiness there, wasn't it? Because whilst the dad was dancing with his daughter, he was like, "Oh, you're going out on another date, and I hope it's not with the lads from the bad side of the tracks."
Yeah. That is like the sort of biggest point that it is mentioned there. That you do get that real class sort of difference, but again, that's as bad as it gets.
Yes.
It's like he's like, not dead boy from Reseda. He's like, yeah, he's from Reseda, like, you know, and it's not like I forbid you to see him.
Yeah.
Nothing ever happens a bit, so, you know, that's good. So he's humiliated now and covered in spaghetti and sauce and everything, so he thinks the safest place for him to be is at Miyagi's place. So he rocks up at his house, his beautifully painted and sanded house, and lets himself in. And Mr. Miyagi is there getting pissed.
He's hammered.
He's fucking para.
Dressed as in his army uniform.
He wasn't dressed as an army man.
Army man.
Dressed in his own army uniform.
He wasn't impersonating an
He was
army
dressed as Action Man.
They almost cut this scene out of the film. So they said it sort of slowed it up a bit, but actually it's probably his best scene in it.
Yeah.
He's amazing in it.
Yeah, the studio wanted to cut it, but it was the director fought to have the scene kept in, and the director always claims that that was the scene that got him the Oscar. And it, obviously he wouldn't have got nominated.
It's really mad because all of his input into the film is really touching but really small. Like, you know, he's there all the time, but he doesn't do very much talking, very much meaningful stuff. Like, that's the guts of it, but it's not Oscar worthy. That little bit. Because basically what's going on, he passes out drunk and Daniel puts him to bed, and then he notices he's clasping a letter in his hand, so he grabs it out and reads it.
Reads it out loud, he can't read in his head.
Yeah, right.
Just before Miyagi passes out, he does do that thing where he's hammered and he's sort of like doing a roll call to himself, isn't he? And he's Mr. Miyagi,
yes, sir.
There's been a complication or something, and then he sort of has a little bit of the story.
It says as well, he was like replaying a bit where they told him he had to drop a bomb somewhere.
He was in the 442nd Infantry or whatever. So basically when they had World War II, and it's hardly ever talked about, the American government rounded up all the Japanese people that lived in America and put them in intern camps, which is where his wife was. It was a bit like a concentration camp, but they weren't killed, obviously, they were treated better.
Right.
But they weren't allowed to leave. But these were American citizens, they just happened to be Japanese when the war started. So his wife was in one of those. But then they had a regiment as well that were like, well, we'll go and fight, even though they were being locked up by the Americans. They had their own Japanese regiment. But they were one of the most highly decorated regiments in all of the American army. They won like more medals for valour and honour than fucking anybody else.
He did look at that, didn't he? Saw he had a few medals and one of them was valour. So it firmly sort of sets where Miyagi is, but also he's getting a bit pissed tonight because it's the anniversary. His wife has died in childbirth, due to complications. That's what the letter says, but you can sort of see it's a telegram as well, so it's very cold. It's kind of like sort of Mr. Miyagi, just to let you know that your wife and child have died as a result of nothing. But out of all that, he's still a nice bloke, and he sort of sees something in Daniel and he's trying to help and everything, so, you know, and then we get to see the patch that his wife made that will later become his logo for his dojo.
A really nice scene.
Mr. Miyagi designed that, didn't he?
Yeah, the actor did.
The actor. I like the end of that though, where Daniel does a little bow to him as he walks out. That was quite nice.
Well, then we have an inspired montage of Daniel practicing on his own, and starts at sunset and works till sunrise. You see him practicing on the stump and practicing his balance, and he stood on a boat on his own. God knows how he's doing that, but he's practicing everything on his own. He's really taking it seriously now. And then we move to the next scene where Miyagi must have sobered up, and he's dressed like a fucking umpire. He's got a chest plate on and then one of the umpire's hats, and he's teaching Daniel
baseball.
Teaching him how to punch.
In a nutshell, Daniel gets a bit cocky with that and starts punching him, and then thinking he's too good, so Miyagi brings him down a peg, knocks him onto the floor, and says, I think you talk too much, I think you're too full of yourself, and basically tries to teach him a lesson there. Then we go back and it's Daniel's birthday, and Mr. Miyagi's got him a cake, and he brings out a present as well. He said, I've got present number 1 for you, and he opens it, and it's a gi, like a karate suit with his patch on the back, a little bonsai tree, and he's kind of like, oh, this is awesome, thanks a lot. And this doesn't make sense because somehow he remembers his mum's planning a surprise party, which he knows about but shouldn't, so he's got to make it to there. On his way out, Miyagi goes, I've got another present for you, and he's like, pick one of these cars. So he's like, fuck, I can't do that. He said, yeah, you can have it. So he gets in the yellow one, which is like a real nice looking retro rock and roll sort of car, a bit like Biff from Back to the Future in yellow, and he's already put the keys in there for him. He knew which car he was going to take.
It's almost as if he knew. He tells Mr. Miyagi he's the best friend he ever had.
He did.
I was crying when I saw it.
Nice. Very nice. And Miyagi says it back to him in his own.
He says, you pretty okay too.
Yeah. It's a nice, heartwarming bit.
It is. So Daniel goes to find Ali to make it up to her, and the minute she gives him a second to talk, he starts giving her shit about Johnny at the country club. So he goes in there to try and make it up to her, and then ends up fucking making it worse.
Insecure, isn't he? Bit of a dick, like.
Yeah.
You dick, Bill!
While he's driving into the car park of golf and stuff to look for her, playing to Young Hearts by Commuter, another great tune.
Good to go down a water slide too.
A water slide, yeah. the only water slide.
The thing is, though, so you're going off like the blueprints of this theme park. Within the realms of the film, it might not be real. Do you know what I mean? Like Ghostbusters HQ is in New York, but they filmed all the scenes internally somewhere else. You've got to suspend your disbelief completely for a film. And
that's fine to do that.
There's a whole swimming pool in there.
No, because in the film he says, I can't wait to try out that slide.
Hey, that one,
there might be loads.
Oh, right, okay. I'm really suspending my disbelief then. I'm suspending it right out there.
I would say, anyway, any decent park is going to have more than a slide.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wouldn't just build a slide.
No, there's more there.
First, wouldn't you?
It's impractical for people who actually want to use it because they're going to be wearing their swimsuits all day.
Yeah, you should be going in a circle, when you're up the stairs, down.
You don't want to be getting changed to go on a ride.
That's how shit that is, yeah. So Daniel's pissed her off, she's leaving, she's walking away, and then her snobby mate actually comes in and does a bit of good. She's like, you don't know how good you had it. And he's like, what are you on about? She's like, well, you didn't see what happened. And he's like, what, that kiss at the club? And she's like, oh, that's right, you didn't stick around to see her hit him afterwards. So like Daniel's then like, oh, fuck it, like, you know, I didn't realise that. I've gone in there all hot-headed.
Covered in spaghetti.
Yeah.
Embarrassment.
Made a right monkey of himself. But anyway, he goes up and he finds her outside, and like he tells her he hasn't got many people coming to cheer him on at the tournament, and she says, well, I'll be there, and they kiss and make up. And
that's a weird kiss as well.
Oh yeah, it's real like open mate.
Yeah, it's so wide.
Yeah. It's not
it's got to be like a fucking fake act kiss, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but I mean, he was literally, it was like a bass. It was like a bass kissing bass.
It was weird.
Are you saying
massive?
That's on bass action.
B2B. Well, anyway,
you never go bass to make.
The next part is we see them stood at the desk and they are registering for the tournament now. The official there says, right, what belt is Daniel? Because this is only open to brown belts and above, and Mr. Miyagi's like, oh, he black belt, and then basically distracts the official by telling him that he spelled his name wrong while he backhands.
That was a nice little scene.
Yeah, he steals a black belt out of the official's bag and passes it to Ali, who takes it to Daniel. Daniel's in the changing room, he's trying to put his like suit on properly, and then lo and behold, behind him, the Cobra Kai are there again, led by Dutch this time.
Well, look what we have here, fellas. Our little friend Danielle. Hello, Danielle.
Yeah, he's the classic fucking villain, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, fair play, like, you know, 10 out of 10 for his taunts, like, you know.
Yeah.
Calling Danielle was cutting.
And he said he's going to be dead meat.
You know, points or no points, you're dead meat. Dead meat.
Dead meat.
Dead meat.
Miyagi has quite a little run of funny bits here now. When the official kicks the Cobra Kai out, Ali comes in, starts putting the belt on Daniel. Mr. Miyagi comes in, he's like, where do we get this from? He's like, oh, Buddha provide. I used to think that he meant Buddha was the official, because it was kind of like he was refereeing an Eastern sort of sport, or whether he meant, like, you know, the Buddha provided good fortune for him. So I'm still on the fence for that. I don't know what it is.
I think it was on Buddha, wasn't he?
Right.
What are the rules here?
Don't know. First time you, first time me.
I am dead. You told me you fought a lot.
For life, not for points.
And it turns out that he knows absolutely fuck all. Like, you know, Daniel's gone in there. And
to be fair, over these 60 days, I do not think he is qualified for this.
No,
he hasn't trained in much, has he?
He's learnt a lot of blocks and balance.
Yeah, he didn't go in well prepared.
Yeah, you've got to just take that with a pinch of salt.
If you did karate every day for 60 days, do you reckon you'd be fucking rock?
You'd be pretty solid.
Well, if you'd probably take a normal person on, couldn't you? But I'd reckon if you entered a competition of karate experts who've been doing it for years, they'd kick your fucking ass, I imagine. Unless you pull out some magical crane move.
Wait, don't you know anything you can tell me?
Hey, no get the hit.
Yeah. So that's his parting advice, and Daniel basically goes into his first fight, wins a couple of points, then it looks a bit shaky, but then he sort of wins a match, and that's
it's
it.
the best 80s montage, maybe.
It is.
The whole time.
It's fantastic, isn't it? The music.
Straight away, it's Joe Esposito, the best around. I think you did a remix of this, didn't you?
I did do a drum and bass version of this, yeah.
We'll cut to it now.
But yeah, they're originally written for Rocky 3, but yeah, they decided to go with Eye of the Tiger instead.
Well, they offered it to Flashdance as well, didn't they?
Did they?
And they were like, nah, you're right. So this is like the song that everyone turned down.
This was almost like the crowning piece of the film, wasn't it? Like,
it's a great song, man. But like the lyric, history repeats itself. That was because he was supposed to be in Rocky 3.
Oh, really?
Saying about like that happening again, so that's where that comes from.
It said that Bill Conti wrote this and Joe Esposito performed it, so that would be the connection.
So when you see him going through the different fights in this, you know the one who's like, you think he's a twat, but then he's actually the alright one. Which one's that? Is that Billy or the
Billy? Bobby, who turns out to be called Bobby Brown. So two can play that game, pal. I know that's a dad joke, but I literally just thought of it then.
He picked the shit out of the ass of Whitney Houston, didn't he, Bobby Brown?
What?
Right, he used to literally pick the shit.
Yeah, apparently. They used to do so much like crack or whatever that she was constipated and he had to like her ass to make her shit.
I'm gonna dig a dookie bubble out of your butt.
Okay, all right. He's tripping.
What? Supposedly. I'm putting it out there.
Fucking, where'd you get that from?
Where would you have heard that though?
From Bobby Brown himself.
That turd was too big.
come out of her foot, and then she couldn't get it out, and I had to help him. When nothing worked, I had to put these fingers right here.
Oh my God! My sister's going, that's love, that's love, that's love. Black love.
What other thing to share about a very intimate moment you would have had?
Word on the street is like Bobby Brown smeared it.
Bobby Brown's listening to this. Like, what the fuck, man?
Bobby Brown, tell if this is true.
Degrading not just Bobby Brown, but this entire podcast.
And the memory of Whitney Houston.
With such filth. Answers on the postcard. Leave it in the comments.
So yeah, a bit of a timeout gets called, and basically John Kreese called Bobby Brown over.
You can play that game.
And he says to him, take him out, I want him out.
But if you watch him, he looks like he fights really well. But he actually was like a real gifted karate guy, and they let him choreograph all of his own bits.
Oh, nice. Well, that's cool. So Dirty Bobby goes in with a flying sort of stomp. He like jumps up in the air, but he comes down on the side of Daniel LaRusso's leg, and he basically fucks him. He just goes down and he's holding his leg. He's like, ah, my leg.
And he's really sorry about it, isn't he?
I think he's the nice one you're on about, isn't he? Like, you know, that's what I said. He's really apologetic. He's going like, I'm sorry, Daniel, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you know, and he seems very
bad about the whole thing.
Yeah. I don't think he's in Cobra Kai anymore. So Daniel LaRusso is out of the match, and we go to the changing room, and we see him there with his mum and Ali and Mr. Miyagi, and the doctor's like, oh, you've done a great job, you put up a great fight, you know, there's no shame in this. He like punches the stretcher that he's on in frustration. He's like, damn it, you know, I would have liked to have known how far I could go. He's like, can I just have a minute with Mr. Miyagi? And Mr. Miyagi says to him, no need fight anymore. He's like, you've kind of proved yourself, you know. You're done.
You half committed to that impression.
I've literally written down the quote, no need fight anymore. So it's sort of me saying in a dreamy kind of way, no need fight anymore.
That's better.
But Daniel pulls a 180 on him and he says, can you do that magic to me again? Can you do that thing to my...
Work his magic.
Can you use your hands on me and work that magic?
Get your warm hands all over my body for a second time and work your magic.
You're back in the garage.
You kinky little Chinese man.
Yeah, but he says, yeah, you don't need to prove anything, you've done enough. And he said, not knowing if I could have done it, my life won't have balance that way. And Mr. Miyagi's like, bollocks, he's got me here. So that's it, you see him take a massive swing with his hands and just like claps them together.
Drop down, snap, and then after that
starts rubbing, and then you just see him literally reaching for Daniel. Don't know where he's reaching for.
Yeah, the camera isn't showing that.
No. So we're at the ringside now.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment we've been waiting for. The present day.
Daniel LaRusso's girlfriend runs in, and you hear the guy who's like, what's that? Daniel LaRusso's gonna fight! Daniel LaRusso's gonna fight everybody! And the fucking place goes wild.
They go mad, don't they?
They do. Everybody loves an underdog. And he comes limping out, pulling a very weird face, but still he's limping out.
He's grimacing though, isn't he?
It is a bit of a grimace, I suppose, yeah.
He's done his cruciates, and now he's just had Miyagi's hands all over him.
His cruciates.
He feels dirty. He feels defiled.
So it's done the job.
But this is the big fight now, so it's Cobra Kai versus Miyagi-Do. He corrects him, he says, no, it's Miyagi-Do. And he gets off to a flying start against John Lawrence. It's tense, you think it's going to be back and forward, but he gets a 2-point lead, and you're like, fucking hell, you can do it here. But then again, another timeout call by Kreese. He gets him over, and he's like pretending to check him, but while he's looking in his face, he's like, sweep the leg. And he's like, Sensei, I can take him, I can do this. And he's like, no, fucking sweep the leg. He said, I want him out of commission. He kicks the leg first, and he goes down, and he gets a dirty, cheeky point off that. They start again, and then he knocks Daniel over, and then he's kind of like kicking him, but he's like stamping like he's trying to stamp on a mouse.
He's rolling away, ain't he?
He's like, ah! He's like stomping after him, and he just can't get him, but then all of a sudden he just boots him straight in the side, and that's it. The score is level. It's 2-2.
You can play that game.
Johnny manages to get a quick illegal punch to the face in as well, but then after they reset, he grabs Daniel by the foot and he drops his elbow into the back of his knee, and you can just feel the pain. You know that he's fucked.
Absolute dirty tactics. Dirty from Johnny.
So the announcer then is like, warning, illegal contact, knee. So it's not a point, it's just a dirty blow, and that's the point there. That's the point there where that Bobby is in the background, and he's like, yeah, Johnny, get him a body bag.
Get him a body bag! Yeah!
He was an ass. The real jackass.
Yeah, jackass.
So Daniel's on the floor, he's looking pretty fucked. Johnny's thinking that that's it, it's all over, he can't get up from this. He stands up, the music starts to get a bit more tense and build up, and we see then that Daniel adopts the crane position. Mr. Miyagi has said that if done right, this is indefensible. You can't stop this move. The referee shows, hey, and Johnny runs straight at him, and Daniel does this flying perfect crane kick straight in the chin, and basically takes him straight down. That's it, and that's the winning point.
It's iconic, innit? When you watched it as a kid, that was the moment he was like, fuck.
Yeah, the whole place goes wild. Like there's the sort of music. Dun, 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 dun. It's all right at the right moment. It's brilliant. And again, I think that's probably about the most dramatic hitting noise you get. But again, it still looks really good. It looks like he actually hits him square in the face and he drops to his knees. They announce that he's sort of won, and then he's like immediately picked up. Johnny runs and steals the trophy. It turns out, yeah, that he does take it and he does present it to Daniel himself. So a nice bit of honour at the end there. I always thought he said as well, "You're okay, little chum." Don't know why I felt like I learned last night as well. He says, "You're all right, LaRusso. Good fight." Yeah. So again, the bit that Bill Conti sort of trumpets behind that, you can certainly hear it, but like the crescendo when it all sort of happens, it's just really well done. And
it's very rocky.
It works, but it works really well.
Rocky, yeah.
It's almost like they've written this around the song. It's like a very Rocky Balboa ending. So Daniel is held aloft. He's then shouting, "Mr. Miyagi, we did it!" Almost like you're waiting for Adrian to run on or something.
Yeah.
We look at Mr. Miyagi. He's got a knowing little smile on his face. He nods out of respect, and that classic 80s freeze frame again.
Freeze frame, fade out.
Yes.
Yeah. Classic.
Yes.
Man, that is classic.
So can I just say my one major thing about this is
the water slide.
No. Is the whole bit when he's registering, you know, in the fight. He says it's only open to brown belts and above. Well, regardless, Mr. Miyagi is not a registered dojo. Daniel has received no belt officially. He is not eligible to be in that competition.
Oh, what? So if they looked into it...
He's no fucking champ. And they built so much stuff around this fact that he's the All-Valley champion, but...
He wasn't doing it for the trophy, though.
No, he wasn't, but the point was, the Cobra Kai being the way they were, if somebody was like, "Oh, let's look into this Miyagi-Do and find out what he's about," he's like, "Doesn't exist." So
Pre-internet, wasn't it?
Yeah,
they had no way of sourcing it or checking all their sources.
Well, I'm sure they did. They probably had to be registered.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a phone call, and that guy ain't got time for a phone call. He's booking people into a karate tournament.
So when I watched this, it ended and I thought, fuck, I remember there being a bit where he has a fight with...
It's the beginning of Karate Kid 2.
But originally it was going to be in the end of the first one.
Was it?
They didn't film it. So in the second one, when they come out of the tournament, the Cobra Kai leader, the sensei or whatever, it beats the shit out of the lad that lost. And then Mr. Miyagi comes over and he like beats him up, doesn't he?
He stands in front of a car and then he goads him and he like does like a strike and hits the car window and all his hands all fucking bleeding and everything, and then Miyagi gets up and gets him to do it again. He punches his other hand through another car window.
When doesn't he say that he could kill him with one punch and he goes or something?
He's like, he's got his like fingers like that,
yeah.
But then he goes and it's like, and then he just collapses. But again, all he's done is punch two car windows. He hasn't been hit in the face or anything, but he drops his
magic.
That should have been at the end of this one, and it would have tied up a bit. It's a nice ending.
It was abrupt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I remember thinking that was amazing though. When I watched the second one, I loved the fact that it started at the end of the other one.
I love it.
It would have worked either way, but I feel like it's not let down all the way it does it.
Yeah.
As a kid watching it, I was so excited, and it was like, oh my god, I remember that bit. Like, and now they're outside. Look, they're in the car park.
I remember reading an article with
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, that he had like a condition that made him look young, and he used to get like frustrated and beat his missus up.
Christ. Oh well, that's just quite a bit of shade to throw towards him. I'm not too sure about that, but obviously he does look very young. Well, no, but I mean he was 22 when they filmed this.
Yeah, but he looks like 15.
Yeah, and most of his co-stars didn't believe that he was 22.
Yeah, I remember reading like a newspaper magazine, or fucking Mail on Sundays, fucking giveaway magazine or something, some interview with him or his missus or some shit like that.
But he looks good in Cobra Kai. Like, you know, he's 57 or something now, or 58.
He's fucking older than Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I don't think the films chronologically get a lot better, but they are sort of part of an institution, so you sort of need to know where they come from. But then watching Cobra Kai now, it is just like so fucking awesome the way they've tied it all in. It's like, oh, and this is partly why I wanted you to watch this film, was just to see if we could
I've seen a little bit of Cobra Kai. It is alright.
There's 5 series, man. If you haven't seen a lot of it, then you don't know what you're missing. It's fucking amazing. So one of the guys in Cobra Kai, I think he developed cancer or something. You know, one of the bullies, not in a lab, but he contracted it.
He contracted
or something. But he was in one of the Cobra Kai episodes, but he looked like shit. But they wrote it in there. He was ill in the program, and that they were having like one last day with him.
Christ.
So they got him into the show. It's in the series, but they did the scenes with him, and then I think he's dead now.
Oh, Christ, huh? That's right.
The producer gave the car to Ralph Macchio.
Oh yeah, as a present.
After they finished filming, apparently.
Crispin Glover had applied for Johnny.
Yes. Yeah.
He's fucking mad.
He is
Crispin
mad.
Glover. I find him really weird because he was like George McFly, wasn't he, in Back to the Future? But then wasn't he also like the bellboy in Hot Tub Time Machine?
He is.
Yeah.
And but he doesn't seem to have aged.
Friday the 13th.
No, he hasn't. No,
It's like when I saw him, I was like, do you just look really like that guy in Back to the Future because you don't seem old now? And even though that was like, what, 2010, that's still like 30 years, and it's like, fuck.
It was the top rental film in 1985.
That surprises me. Against Back to the Future.
I think everyone was surprised that it was such a hit.
Well, it took 130 million on an 8 million budget.
I mean, it was a big fucking deal, though, man.
Yeah,
you've all said, but I did Karate as well. This film touched everybody.
Yeah, this had
everybody
a
who
proper,
saw
like,
it.
cultural sort of impact.
I've not seen it, but I know enough about it that I pretty much knew the fucking whole thing without having seen it. Do you know what I mean? And you hear all the quotes from it, and you know all the tunes that you like. Oh, this is a good tune. Oh yeah, it's big because it was in this. So,
yeah.
It got, you know, cultural impacts. Right?
It's obviously an impactful film, and it was quite the big deal in the 80s. One of the interesting things, I know, in the final fight, everyone's got like their fucking guns out. All the Cobra Kai, they've got like short sleeve, and you would like in a fighting competition, but they leave his ceremonial robes on after DiMaggio because he was so fucking skinny, and they said,
why do you keep calling him DiMaggio?
Or whatever his name is. What his name
He
is?
was a baseball player, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Joe DiMaggio.
Like Danielson or whatever. So yeah, he's got his big, what it looks like his pyjamas. I had a pair of pyjamas like that when I was a kid.
You look like
It's not quite the 180 million fact.
Hey, Ma! Hey, Ma! Go get my pajamas!
No, the karate ones! I mean, generally, though, I think it's a quality film, in my opinion. I think it's really sort of held up. The acting, like we touched on, is fucking brilliant. I can see why he was nominated for an Oscar. The script's fucking really good. And I think some of the way it's shot is really nice. Some of it's shot in a bit of like a late 70s kind of way, but some of it's really, really lovely, the way it's like sort of filmed and the framing and long one shots and the stuff. Like even when he goes up into the final fight thing and it shows you all the crowd and everything.
Yeah.
There's some amazing shots the whole way through it.
I mean, I guess because it was filmed on mostly a real location, wasn't it? There was no sets. So, I mean, they had that 8 million budget, but what they got for it, fucking hell.
Yeah, but do you want to go first for your score, Tom?
I do. You've really got to come out yourself and just think about it again. How many times have I seen this film? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Billions and billions and billions and billions.
So I do love it, but watching it critically, I like it even more. This film is just great. Yes, I'm a little bit playfully bored of it because, you know most of the lines and everything, but the acting's brilliant. The Bill Conti music is brilliant. The soundtrack in general is great. All the acting's believable, and like I said, the fight scenes are sort of really well done. Nothing is over the top. It just seems like you're watching something quite low budget but really well done. I don't know, they put the money into the cameras or something like that, or people just weren't being paid very much for doing it. I don't know, but there was a lot of like big people in here for the time, and all the characters were just picked and played perfectly for me. And for the impact it had on me, I mean, I did karate for like 7 years off the back of this, and everybody who watched it seems to have done the same thing to whatever extent. It was just amazing. It can't be anything less than a 10 from me.
Oh,
yeah. Top. Yeah, like I said, really liked it. Really liked all the acting. Think most of it's aged well, apart from the beginning bit, but the script's really, really good. Like, it's not sort of like cheesy. Well, it is a little bit, but sort of like it is believable enough at the same time. Yeah, big cultural impact, great 80s soundtrack, an iconic film of the 80s. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, pretty much the same, really. Fond memories of it. Was better actually this time watching it than I do remember because it's been so long since I've actually seen it. But yeah, good acting. It was one of the hardest films to try and figure out a score for because there was part of me that thought I was going to hate it after watching it after so long. But I did put 7.5 or 8. I think I might go for like 8.5. Yeah.
That's fair.
So I've obviously never seen it, and I think I got to a point where I was like, well, there's no point watching it now because if you didn't get caught up in the hype at the time, you're just going to be sort of ticking off the cliches and whatever. Like, I haven't seen Top Gun either, and I feel the same about that. Like, I probably wouldn't get too much out of it. I think as the passage of time moves, something like in your recent history is like out of date and shit, but when it gets to a certain stage, like the 80s are now, it's fucking cool again. So I think, watching it now instead of like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, it is like an 80s treat, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So it's not dated so much as like just nostalgia.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just agree with everything everyone said, and I'm going to give it a 9.
Oh, nice.
I think, it was really good. I'm glad I watched it. It was good. It was good.
Yeah. Happy about that.
Praise all round.
It couldn't go any other way though, could it? Because I mean, look at the way the film's revealed. weird. It's like that's what it did to everybody, and
Yeah.
I'm really chuffed that like Lee's come in so high with it, because I thought that would be a tough nut to crack. But
Well, I've kept the poker face all the way through it so I can drop that.
I've just been thinking all the time, what's he doing here? Where's he going with it?
Well, yeah, so let us know what you think of The Karate Kid in the comments and its subsequent sequels and spin-offs. So next week's episode is my turn, and I was given the year 1980.
So it's like intimidating that year, isn't it, a bit?
Yeah, well, it's interesting here to look through, because obviously Al had it last season where he picked the classic Somewhere in Time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can see why you picked that, 'cause there's a few standouts, and sometimes you don't want to go too obvious and stuff. There's a couple of things I was torn between. But I picked one that I do have a bit of a memory of. I've seen it, but I probably haven't seen it now for maybe 35
What were the options you didn't go for?
Alligator was one, which is the one B movie.
It sounds so familiar, like the name, just Alligator. I must have at some point, but
It was on the back of Jaws.
I actually think the bad guy from Karate Kid was in Alligator 2.
Oh, you forgot, no way. And then the other one was Blues Brothers, because I'm fan, I haven't seen it. But the one I decided to go with, I got a vague memory of it, and it looks fucking cool, is Flash Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll be the film for next week, the Flash Gordon.
Gordon's alive!
Oh, fuck it. Alright, that's cool.
So now we need to work out what the year is for Lee, because Lee's going to spend a week deliberating what film he could pick. So let me just get the random number generator up.
Get it up, man.
Yeah, here we go then. So now we're going to generate Lee's next year. 86.
Oh. 86.
86.
Nothing's jumping out there. I was hoping for 85.
Yeah, well, let's see how there's bumper one. All right then, guys. Next week we're going to be reviewing Flash Gordon, so watch that, and then we shall come back next week and see you then. All right, cheers everyone. Bye.
Gordon's alive. Bye.